Now, for the price point you're looking at with the Subaru Wilderness Outback, should you get a mid-size truck? We can go into that. All right, so yeah, our Subaru Wilderness Outback and mid-size trucks. For the price point of it, if you're looking at a new Subaru Wilderness Outback, let's say 25, they're about $44,000, at least around us. On sale, 42. What else can you get for that kind of money? Well, you can get a Chevrolet Colorado Trail Boss that has less amenities, but it's still off-road functional and awesome. You can get a Pro 4X Nissan Frontier for 40 to 43. Same price point exactly as heated seats, all the stuff. You can get one of these ZR2s for about 48 to 49, so obviously more, but way more capability, way more capability. What else can you get? You get a Ford Ranger FX4 XLT. They are 39 to 42 for 25s. There's some 24s left, but 25s right now are floating around that. Or you're getting like XL one, which is equivalent to Trail Boss, for like 36 to 39. I think 39 sticker, they're on sale. So you can get a lot of things. So you really got to weigh what features you want.
Yeah, I think the point is that they used to not be in the running for you to be considering an Outback versus a mid-sized truck, but the times have changed in the last 5 years.
Well, and this point in case, our 2015 we've had two of those. We bought one new, we got it for like $23,000 base. Now a base one costs you about 33 to 35, 32 to 35 for a base Outback. And you can get a base mid-sized truck for anywhere from 35 to 39. So you're pretty close. I mean, more, but a lot of stuff, it depends what you're looking at. So, all right, so capability. Obviously, depends what you want. I'm a truck guy. I love capability. The Subaru is very capable in its own class. I really like that too, but it's a whole, any kind of truck. I've got big tires, I've got skid plates, I've got, like this one's loaded, obviously it's not loaded, but it's a base CR2. That's all the things I could ever want and does everything I ever want to. But also, if I were just getting one and I could only get one, say having a sedan and I can pick it between the Outback Wilderness and a mid-sized truck, I'm gonna go mid-sized truck personally because payload is 1,245 pounds on this. You can get them up to 1,700 pounds. They have similar-ish leg room. We'll demonstrate it in a little bit. This one's not as good, but overall versatility for me is better, and I would look at some certain brands that get good mileage. But I do love the Outback, and having two, an SUV type thing in a truck is very nice, and we enjoy it a lot. It's just capable enough for dirt roads, a little off-roading, light duty stuff, and trips. Very great for trips, going to Vernal, fishing trips, camping, going on mountains, and stuff. Nothing that's too extreme. It's great. So you really got to weigh what you want. Obviously, the truck has all the things: big tires, more clearance, lockers available, front, rear, both just singles, all the things.
Better approach, departure,
better
breakover.
Better breakover, better departure. Trailer towing hitches come standard on most all of them, or you have a bumper you can put double hitch in. So when equipped, this can tow 3,500 pounds. It's got 900 pounds of payload. It's enough for like 4 people and some gear. My family, personally, the 3 of us and some gear, we're right at max capacity. The truck has like 6,500 pounds towing. Oh, sorry, 6,000 pounds towing for that one. Obviously it has more payload, 1,245 pounds. But I love that you can put things in here, close it, secure, nobody's getting your stuff. You don't got to worry about it. You got a shade you can throw over it. All the stuff is very nice. I can fit in there. You can fold the seats down, which is just two of you and no children. You're great. Yeah, I can lay down in that thing. Oh yeah.
Look, you fit.
I fit. I wouldn't actually be able to sleep in here, but like if you're just you and your wife, this is great. It's like a mini pickup. You can stack your gear clear to here. I think they make a net thing you can throw up there. It's pretty nice. Like I have a lot of stuff, and I just throw we can haul a lot of big tall things in these. Like a me. This is where I ride comfortably. I will show you how I ride in the back behind myself. So this is it. So yep, I'm pretty comfortable. The footwell's a little cramped, not as bad as a Jeep or anything, but not as spacious as the Subaru actually, because the way they angle and stuff. So depends on which mid-size truck, but we're inserting this in the Subaru video.
But so everybody understands that you are 6'2".
6'2", approximately 200 to 240 pounds.
You have what size foot?
Size 15s, baby.
So
super 15s.
So
I get traction what other people dream about.
Somebody with a smaller foot might not think that the wheel wells are
Yeah, when you have size 15 super stompers. But actually this is comfortable. Like I'm comfortable here. My son can ride behind me. He's granted only like 9, but he's also 5 foot tall. But I'll show you 2. We'll add a 3rd one. If I wanted to ride and I wouldn't want to do it long term, but I've done it going down to St. George and stuff. I can move up where I just have a little bit because I believe there's a knee pad thing there from an accident. Ugh.
So this is you behind yourself.
Yes, this is me behind myself. So obviously the Subaru wins in this category.
The Subaru technically overall has an extra 5 inches of legroom over the midsize pickup trucks.
Yep.
And including this one. So this one actually has more than Ford Ranger and more than Nissan technically.
Technically, but I think it's less.
But
also the headroom
seat
I
design
can't
makes a big difference on the Rangers and the Nissan because the seats are lower on the Chevy Colorado.
They are lower. They're lower than the old style.
Yeah, so you used to be able to get your feet underneath, which makes a big difference, which if you have ever test driven a Ford Ranger or a Nissan
They're better.
or a Jeep Gladiator, you do have more foot space underneath those seats, and
Also,
that makes a big difference.
Also, the Subaru wins in this. My feet fit under the Subaru.
Yes.
Size 15 Super Swampers. Traction people dream about.
So as far as interior comfort, the Subaru wins.
It does win, hands down. All right, so daily driving is great because I don't really haul people for me, so I have a seat all the way back. I'm comfortable. I crank it down because it's a sunroof, but then I raise up the front, so it's very comfortable. I would say the old one's a little more comfortable, but yes, this is very comfortable. The Subaru is very comfortable. I daily drive both. We alternate, so it's great. I get approximately 19 to 22. Lowest I've always got 17. That was when really crappy weather and four-wheeling and stuff. So yeah, so I get pretty decent fuel economy out of it, surprisingly. Now the Subaru gets better, but this one does pretty good. I've actually gotten really good hauling some weight, and we'll go into that one. Well, I can insert pictures if you want.
So I'm going to put on the screen here some of the EPA ratings for, like, say, a Ranger, Outback, and a Colorado, just so people understand.
Yes, like a Ranger, STX, and Outback.
So I think the thing is that when it comes to fuel economy, the Outbacks a long time ago used to be far superior in their mileage compared to midsize trucks.
At least our 15s.
That's not the case anymore.
Oh yeah, it's not the case.
It's really changed. And so our 2015 Outback got anywhere between 25 to 32 on average.
More like 27 to 35.
Yeah, but if you got some really bad city driving and stuff, it was
25 was your lowest.
Low,
like
low.
You're talking all in town for us.
But when you talk about, like, say, vehicles like the Ranger, obviously this one is not in the league with the Outback.
A great mileage one, but it does good for us.
But if you take numbers like the Ranger, we just pulled a random truck.
Yeah,
The Ranger,
Ranger
XL, what was it?
STX, just the base
so
one.
we just pulled a base 4x4.
Four-wheel drive, locker.
The Ranger that we pulled offline, we looked at the window sticker and everything, says it is 19 to 26, 21 combined. But when you look at the Outback Wilderness, it is 21 to 26 with a 22 combined.
Yeah.
That isn't that far off from a mid-sized pickup truck with a lot more capability. So if you're looking for just for fuel economy, you gotta really
look at a regular
at a regular Outback over the Wilderness.
Well,
but if you want
33, they were like 27 to 33. So.
Yeah, so if you're going to look at something, if you want a more off-road capable vehicle, you really should also look at the trucks as well, just because the fuel economy is not that far off, and also daily driving. This one's a dream, I won't lie.
She steals it all the time.
It's cushy. We'll do a whole daily driving video later on this guy. But for being an off-road beast, you wouldn't think that it'd be a cushy ride.
All right, it is very nice. The ride's very good.
The Outback, too, is a cushy ride for being the off-road trim. So don't think that because we're loving on the Chevy here that we're not loving on the Outback.
Outback's awesome. I daily drive it quite a bit because somebody takes mine. And it's very comfortable. I do love the seats and comfortness, and the water repellent seats are amazing for coffee spills and miscellaneous.
Yes. So as far as fuel economy and driving experience, like for daily driving, I think they're kind of tied.
Long-term costs. So can you mod the Subaru? Can you mod the mid-sized trucks? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Some. I would personally say it's way easier to mod a mid-sized truck because you slap on a skid plate. You can buy it with the locker. Slap on a skid plate, lift, kits, all the things are easier. But you can also mod your Subaru and lift it up, put on rock rails, the whole 9 yards. So you can modify them both, but long-term maintenance costs, because mods are, how much you want to put into it. Long-term maintenance costs, so I'm going to say on average your mid-sized trucks are going to be cheaper.
So we actually have some specific numbers that we pulled from Edmunds on maintenance costs, because we do DIY stuff a lot, so our costs are not going to be reflective of someone going to the dealership or just going in general to have someone else do it.
Or they might be, because I don't like to do certain things like CVT fluids and stuff.
So we pulled these numbers from Edmunds, and you can put in your zip code and it'll give you kind of some estimations. But we pulled numbers for the Wilderness. So 5-year maintenance costs is going to be about $7,548 for our zip code.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And so we'll talk about the other trucks here quick. So we pulled a 24 Ford Ranger since they just came out, and a lot of people have been curious about them, and that is, they are $5,400. So that is
$2,000 right
lot cheaper already, and I was surprised, but we'll get to why it's dramatic. But we also pulled a Nissan Frontier, and it's around $6,400. So the Ford Rangers, out of the cheapest, they didn't have numbers for the Chevy.
The Chevy is going to be ballpark with me doing things. I'm going to put it at 3,500, give or take.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
So Edmunds didn't have official numbers for that. So people are probably wondering, why is the Subaru so much more expensive? Well, it's because it has a CVT.
CVT, the spark plugs are harder to get to, the battery's harder to change, I guess, from what I can tell.
So in year 3, when the CVT is commonly needs to be changed, fluid needs to be changed, that procedure alone is costing you $2,400 with all the other maintenance you're going to do that year.
Whatever else is required.
Spark plugs are typically in year 4, which apparently with other maintenance equals $1,800. And then you're doing the CVT again in year 5. And tires and things like that as well. And so you end up running around $7,500, and that's typical of a Subaru because Subarus just take a lot more maintenance on that CVT and their differentials.
So over 5 years, you get a midsize truck, you're about $3,000 ahead on maintenance. So you save money on the truck and on maintenance. That's a win-win. Why do we get a Subaru again?
Because it's cool.
Oh, because it's cool.
Because it's cool.
That's right. But it also is used, it's certified.
And I have to say, like, going back to the modifications, I've been looking for some for our Wilderness, and they're really hard to find. I can find anything for Nissans, Fords, the Chevy here all day long. Toyotas, you can find pretty much, you just type in Toyota Tacoma, there's mods everywhere. Just like a Jeep, they're like Legos. But you cannot find very many mods for Subarus. They're really hard to find. They're very select specialty parts. So those are also super expensive. I was looking at a lift kit, and it was going to be like $2,500.
Ouch, I can lift.
And that was for an inch.
I can lift any other midsize for about $500. Front and rear struts,
exactly.
which are about $350
and that was
from
with
Ranchos.
us doing it. Like that's before you'd get a shop to do it. So it's really
so if you're buying it, just get a midsize pickup. Don't buy a Subaru. Everybody buys them, mods them, and they complain about them and sells them. It's like, yes, you should have not got that. You should have got a Jeep. You should have got a you should have got anything with a frame, this solid frame.
So if you're modding your Subaru, you're going to be spending a lot lot more money.
I spent $300 on a skid plate I may never put on.
Yes, we have a $300 skid plate, which if we would have bought the skid plates for this guy, we
would have been way money ahead and better spent. It was dumb. I didn't want it. Somebody wanted it, and she ordered it before I could even think about it. So $300 may be going away, or I can hopefully sell it, or I don't know.
Spending money on protection is never a waste.
Yeah, it's a waste if you don't put it on.
So we've covered both the pros and cons of both the Outback versus a midsize truck, and I really feel like it comes down to what you're looking at. So for a midsize truck, you're probably looking at higher payload, towing capacity, and a vehicle that you might be able to mod and go anywhere you want to go.
And you can also just throw your fishing gear in the back and all your muddy crap in the back, and you can do that in the Subaru too, but something makes me clean it. I don't like that. Yeah,
this I can just hit with the garden hose and it's fine. He gets too much dirt in the Outback and it's a thing.
It becomes an issue.
Smelly fishing loop.
Becomes an issue. Let's just say pink stink bait was involved and it smelled for like 3 weeks.
It was terrible.
Not this one, but the old one.
Yes, he got pink goo on my beautiful tan Outback.
It was amazing fish baits.
Yes, but I think for the Outback, if you're looking for something that has a lower interior height, you're going to be going on a lot of road trips that you're not leaving
Beautiful
the highway.
machine for that.
The Subaru is great, especially if you have really tiny kids.
Or big kids. Or just old people. And me. And comfort. It's very comfortable. It's awesome. Road trip machine.
Like, we've always been truck people, so we're always going to lean towards a truck. Because even whenever it was little, we drove trucks.
Well, we had a Subaru, and that was great.
We did. We had a Volkswagen there for a while.
We had a Volkswagen. That was great.
But
I love
having
trucks.
that lower step in height for children is great.
But they can climb. You can lift them.
Exactly. So if you're only stopping because you have kids, you have this thing called a bed in the back. Put a tonneau cover,
all the baby things fit very well in the bed. I'll say this, if you're looking at Outback Wilderness and midsize, just go midsize. Just pick the one with the most legroom that you can live with. They're about the same price. We always like Outbacks. Somebody likes Outbacks. I liked one originally, and I still like them. But
I really feel like if it's a great vehicle, if you want everything enclosed and you're not going to want to utilize the truck bed at all.
Going and seeing family, long trips, grocery stores, all the daily life stuff is amazingly easy. It is very comfortable. They are super nice for that. I do like it for that.
And you want a little bit better fuel economy overall. Yes. you should probably go with the Outback. But if you're going to want to do anything and you see your family changing over the years, like, yes, your kids are going to grow. They're going to be a little more smushed in the back of a midsize.
They're fine. You just push back
if they grow up with it, they don't even know.
Yes, you still suck it up.
We grew up in such like regular
I grew up in extended cab 4 diff 150. You have this much leg room.
Yes.
So and then we moved to a crew cab eventually when I was older. It was much nicer.
Yes, I grew up in two hatchback cars, and it was tight, but as a kid, you just don't know any better.
You don't care. It doesn't matter. So you sat there, you're good.
When we finally got like an actual 4-door car, I was like,
you're like, oh, this is great.
What is this?
That's like us. Let's look at this legroom, dude.
Exactly. So if you're worried about your small kids, yes, the car seats in the midsize pickup trucks for anybody who's got rear-facing kids.
Oh, yes.
That is going to be snug, but it's 2 years. It's only 2 years.
And you put them in the middle, you're golden. You put them in the middle anyway, so. Unless you have 2, get something bigger, minivan. Those are awesome.
Just go with the Outback at that point.
I would go minivan if I had 2, just for the extra room.
The minivan is like...
Get the off-roadable Montana they used to make.
God. Here's really the truth. If your weekend is going to involve mountain bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, you're going to want to haul rocks.
Or if you
go pick up.
Or if you go off-roading on long trips like us, most of the time that's how we end up in this. Even though that's a better long trip cruiser, if Subaru could add some like lifts, add bed to it, and just make a Baja with the trench case, I would totally own me a Subaru and take it all, but we suffer through with the small legroom for the off-road ability.
And that's why we take our trucks 90% of the places we go on trips.
Pretty much.
Subaru stays more local.
It does. Local to work and home.
Unless you're traveling to Denver by yourself or Salt Lake by yourself or any place like that, then you take the Subaru because you've got as much room as you want. You can camp in it. It's fine.
Well, she does. I take this because I might have to veer off into the mountains and get lost.
You still veer off in the Subaru.
Yes, not my stuff. I mean, yes, you can, but that one lake, you can never get to it.
It's true.
Just kidding.
After all this, we really don't have an answer for you. It depends on your lifestyle. It
You'll
depends
figure it out.
on you and your family.
I like having one of each. Do that.
Yeah, one of each is perfect. Yeah, just do that. You just need one of each.
And if you can't afford the Outback Wilderness, I highly recommend getting a regular, cheaper Outback, or go used, or just get a baser model. Because you can add a 1-inch lift to that super cheap.
I think the sweet spot in the Outbacks was the 2018 and 2019s.
Or
because you got Android Auto.
Or any newer one, you get all the new stuff. If you get a base model and a good deal on it, you're way better off than the Outback Wilderness. Granted, we like ours, so we got it for like the price of a mid-range level. So that was a good deal.
Yeah. So there you have it. Yeah, go used. Personally, if we had to do it over again and we could only pick one, what would it be?
Mid-size truck.
I'm a truck girl. It's mid-size truck. I love our Outback, but
I would get a mid-size truck with I would find one with medium legroom. Not the most, but not the least.
I would say, yeah, mid-size truck. If we had to only have one and that was it, it would be the mid-size truck just because of what we do.
And then I have a sedan like I used to forever.
Yes. But anywho, so that's it for this video. Comment down below which vehicle do you think is better for your lifestyle and why.
They're both equal.
You just need both, right?
Or just get one and pick one and live with it.